This is my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so in this episode, Angelo decides to take the fight to Josuke and actually, infiltrate his house and try to kill him. So, yeah, Angelo is a little upset about what happened the other day with Josuke, and he's trying to make amends for it, and so to speak. So, what he does is he disguises himself as the milkman, which we already explained, and tries to give Josuke's mom, Tomoko, a bottle of milk with his stand in it. However, she quickly notices right away that he's not the usual milkman, and also that the milk seal is broken. So she hands the bottle back to him he goes on his merry way after stepping in some dog crap. At which point he gets very upset and realizes he now needs another way to get into the house because he realizes disguising himself as a milkman isn't going to work since Tomoko is very perceptive of the fact that he might be trying to get something in that he shouldn't be. So, and eventually he gets the answers to his prayers when he discovers the man whose said dog is crapping all over the place, and takes his anger out on the dog before spitting the dog's blood. To explain, he rips the dog's muzzle off of his face and then spits the dog's blood into the guy's mouth, which he then fuses with his stand, which then rips the guy apart. And while the guy is dying, he explains how people like him piss him off because he just doesn't care and should very well clean up after his dog. A little too late now, but oh well. But in any case, the stand is able to escape into the drain nearby and is able to make it into the house, where Tomoko immediately bakes it into her morning coffee. Josuke doesn't realize this at first. He's busy talking with JoJo on the phone about what's going on and about his incident with the stand the other day, mainly about how he didn't see the guy responsible, and even more oddly enough, the stand didn't attack him. So Josuke tells him that what's going on and how the stand didn't attack him. And JoJo responds that he still needs to keep his guard up because it's very possible he could get in just by ingesting liquids. So they should be very careful about what they drink. At which point Josuke goes in to check on his mom and discovers that she has already drank the coffee with the stand in it, and he realizes he needs to get it out of her quickly before it becomes a problem. So he informs JoJo of the situation, grabs a bottle from the nearby shelf, empties it out, and using his stand's powers, extracts Aqua Necklace from his mom and puts it in the bottle. So basically, he just punches through her with the bottle, breaks the bottle, and then pulls it back through, and heals both his mom and the bottle, trapping Aqua Necklace inside. And afterwards, he explains to JoJo that he has caught the stand, and JoJo, surprised, realizes that they need to find a way to deal with it quickly, or Aqua Necklace is going to become a real problem. So he mentions that he tells Josuke that he needs to keep his eye on the bottle at all times, and sure enough, he does exactly that. He keeps it with him until it's time to go to school, and sure enough, just holds on to it until JoJo shows up to help him dispose of it. So, yeah, at which point his grandfather comes home, having worked the night shift the night before, and sure enough, teases him a little bit with a fake gun that he has, and threatens to shoot him if he doesn't admit why he's not at school yet. And sure enough, Josuke explains exactly what's going on to his grandfather, and sure enough, while Josuke is waiting for Jotaro, it's actually revealed that Angelo was arrested by Josuke's grandfather. So yeah, there was an incident. So yeah, the incident that actually got Angelo arrested was an incident involving three young teenagers. He raped two of them and tried to hold the third one for money, which is what caused him to get caught. And sure enough, Ryohei showed up and arrested him. So Angelo quickly realizes he has an opportunity to get out of the bottle. And is able to actually release his stand from the bottle, and tricks Ryohei by disguising the bottle as a whiskey brand. So because he knows how much Ryohei likes his whiskey after he's come home from his night shift. And sure enough, it works. While Jotaro and Josuke are talking, and when Josuke invites Jotaro in and explains the situation and shows them where the bottle is, Ryohei has already opened it and has been ripped apart by the stand. They're able to. So Josuke is able to fight the stand off and quickly tends to his grandfather, healing his wounds using his stand, but realizes too late that his grandfather's already dead and that his stand won't be able to actually save him. So, yeah, Jotaro comforts Josuke and reveals and tells him that his stand is probably one of the more beneficial ones that he's seen, but he reveals that no stand can actually bring back the dead. So, with that, his grandfather is buried and he attends his funeral. So, and that takes a couple of days. I've been to a funeral. It's not pleasant, but I know what kind of thing Josuke is going through. His grandfather dies, and after his grandfather dies, Josuke decides that he's going to take up his grandfather's stead and protects his city from evil stand users. And sure enough, the first thing he does is try to avenge his grandfather. So afterwards, he decides to stay home for a couple of days. His friends assume it's because he's staying home because he's grieving, but in actuality, he's preparing for war. So what happens is that they only drink bottled foods and liquids, so that way they can actually keep the seal nice and fresh, so that way they know that there's no stand in it and it's relatively safe to drink. And they also make sure that all of the faucets are clamped down and will not be open. And while they're doing all this prep work, Jotaro notices that Josuke still has a scar on his lip from when Jotaro punched him the other day, and Josuke reveals a very fatal problem with his stand. His stand can heal other people just fine. Josuke is on his own though. His stand can't actually heal his own wounds. So yeah, his stand is very powerful and that can heal people, but he himself cannot be healed by his stand's power. So he realizes, and sure enough, reveals that if Angelo were to successfully get inside of him, he would probably die and that would be game over. So, but with that, they actually begin to make preparation. They actually have finished their preparations, and then Jotaro goes outside to look for Angelo. But then it starts raining, and that's when the terrifying part of Aqua Necklace comes in. So apparently, Aqua Necklace is able to fuse with any water that's nearby, which we've already seen to an extent, and is able to just become a liquid. It's be able to become any liquid that's nearby. And sure enough, Jotaro almost realizes it's almost too late as Aqua Necklace is already clinging to him, but he's able to fend it off with Star Platinum, and Angelo realizes that Jotaro is a stand user. But by that point, it's already too late, and he's already gotten into the house, and has started monkeying around with all of the piping and stuff by the time Jotaro actually gets in to warn Josuke. So they quickly realize that there's no real safe place for them anymore since Angelo has used his stand to turn on all of the faucets, boil as much water as possible, just make mist everywhere. And sure enough, they realize that they actually need to find a way to escape. And sure enough, Josuke immediately comes up with a plan, which is that they just go through a wall, which is easy because Josuke's stand literally will just heal the wall. So they go through the wall only to discover that there's a humidifier in the room, and Aqua Necklace is able to successfully get inside Josuke. And sure enough, Angelo can't help but gloat at his victory over Josuke, and explains that when things like this happen, he can't help but smile. However, Josuke reveals that he actually had a trump card in case he accidentally did wind up swallowing Aqua Necklace. So, and sure enough, reveals exactly what he did. He chopped up a little rubber glove, he swallowed it piece by piece, and then he used Crazy Diamond to heal the glove and pull it out of his system, effectively trapping Aqua Necklace. And sure enough, it works! Aqua Necklace is now trapped in a rubber glove and it can't actually escape. And sure enough, they're able to use it to actually knock Angelo out of a tree, which they can now are able to actually confront him. And since his stand is trapped in a rubber glove, he's unable to actually fight back, or at least for the most part. So sure enough, Angelo immediately realizes he's in a bad situation and tries to logic his way out of it, which doesn't really work, especially when he uses some really bad logic. So his logic is that he was found guilty by the Japanese legal system, but the people who are about to beat him to a bloody pulp are not going to be able to actually judge him. And this doesn't work because, well, that's really not how the legal system works at all, and that's not what guilty and innocent is. It doesn't matter what you are. If you're a bad person, you're going to pay for it. That's how the legal system works. And sure enough, Josuke kind of agrees. He realizes that he can't actually kill Angelo, because then he would be in trouble for murder, and that would be a really bad thing. It's a very slippery slope. So he decides to do the next best thing. So Angelo just happens to be next to this giant boulder, which Josuke knocked him around in front of using his rubber glove trick. And sure enough, his plan is to fuse Angelo with the rock and make him repent for all eternity by basically trapping him inside the rock. And it works. He delivers a flurry rush to Angelo and breaks the rock behind him. And because of how Josuke's stand powers work, it actually heals the rock and Angelo at the same time, fusing the two together, and therefore Angelo is now stuck in the rock. And Jotaro is just watches on, both admiring and fearing how dangerous Josuke's stand can be when used offensively. So yeah, and also because of this, now the Angelo Rock has become a historical landmark in Morio. So yeah, because of the fight between Josuke and Angelo, there is now a new landmark in Morio, and Angelo is an unwilling participant of that. So yeah, that's my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And if you want to help support the show, then be sure to check out my Patreon. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks. I'm my way saying thanks, so be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!